I think Australia winning that last test against the Lions has lit a bit of a fire under it. I think we were probably all anticipating that they would go to South Africa, that the Springboks would get off to a flyer, come to Eden Park, top of the table.
I got a breakfast thing planned for Sunday morning for that first test.
They fully believe that they can beat anyone, anywhere. That'll be put to the test at Eden Park.
DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Always a great pleasure on Mondays to have our man Tony Johnson in from Sky Sport. The Rugby Championship kicking off, as you know, this weekend. Exciting. I just think this is the most open championship we have had in years. So much to talk about, to look forward to. All Blacks selections as well. Who's going to win this tournament and why? Argentina, the team that they're going to pick to play against us. Tony, we'll cover all of that in time. But first and foremost, we acknowledge the loss of Peter Lester over the weekend, who we both knew well, and just as a mate, as a person, as a friend, he was such a charming, ebullient kind of character to be around, wasn't he? He was gracious, he was a gentleman. And in terms of his broadcasting, and we've had long associations with that, I just love the way that he was able to communicate a sport, which can be complex. It can be a bit mind-numbing at times, but he could tell and sell it to you in a way that you never felt he was highbrowing you. He just explained it in layman's terms, and he was really perceptive about what he was looking at. I thought he was an excellent broadcaster, Peter.
Yeah, this is such a shock, Martin, dying at the age of 70 from a heart attack at the weekend. Peter, I had the privilege of working with him on 2 Olympic Games, 2012 in London, where he was down on the coast, but I saw enough of him when he came into the broadcast centre, and also in 2021 when we're part of the team that went to Tokyo, and we didn't see a lot of each other there simply because of the way we were sort of into little bubbles and what. But the time that you spent with him was always really good time, and I think you've nailed it on the head that he was just such a lovely person. First and foremost, he was a really good team person. There were no airs and graces about him, that it didn't matter whether you were a rookie or whether you were a senior pro. He treated everyone very equally. Secondly, as a commentator, he was really adept at explaining things without sounding patronising. And that's a real knack in a sport that can be very, very technical. He didn't use arcane terms that people couldn't understand, and that's the whole key to Olympic broadcasting, because you are broadcasting to people around the world who probably don't see it.
No, every 4 years they come in.
Apart from the Olympic Games, they don't follow it, they don't watch it, so they need things explained. But they also don't need to be, as I say, patronised. So he was a terrific commentator, Peter, but more than that, he was just such a lovely fellow, and you feel really sad for his family. He had a family, obviously, of course, a wonderful family by all accounts that he was very, very proud of. But there'll be a deep sense of loss, particularly through the yachting community at this.
Very sad indeed. And on we go, as we do, because that's what we do on the podcast, and we're talking Rugby Championship. I don't know. I haven't felt as amped for a Rugby Championship. I keep thinking, is it pre-COVID? I can't even remember back what happened before COVID, but certainly in the last few years, with what's in front of us, with the potential of what's in front of us, with the fact that we've now got it's not us who's the number one team riding that horse with their target on their backs. It's South Africa and what they've got to lose. An Argentina side who won against all opponents last year, bringing back their players. An Australian side who are feeling confident because of the second and third test performances. And an All Black side, it's still a bit unknown, but we, rebuilding from last year, we had 4 losses. We've lost to them 4 times in a row. We've got a lot to prove as well. So, yeah, there's lots of different elements coming into this, but also what I believe is 4 good teams. 4 very good teams.
Absolutely. And I think Australia winning that last test against the Lions has lit a bit of a fire under it. I think we were probably all anticipating that they would go to South Africa, that the Springboks would get off to a flyer, come to Eden Park, top of the table or vying for the top of the table. It'll all come down to that. But the way the Australians played in that third test and just the changes that came over that team through the series, particularly with the introduction of Will Skelton and the seismic impact that he had on the series, suddenly it's got a slightly different feel about it, because South Africa, to my mind, still go into this series as very, very warm favourites to win it.
They have to, Tony. They have to.
Well, they've been the best team in the world. They've won the last 2 World Cups. They are the defending champions. They have got such strength and depth at the moment, and they are expanding their game all the time. So let's not kid ourselves. They start as favourites to win this.
Top seed.
And a chance for them to win at Eden Park with something they have not done for a very, very, very long time. So the first couple of weeks have got an additional fascination about them now, as I say. One, because of what the Australians were able to do, and the fact that South Africa, having had their own way, really, did what they liked against the Barbarians, against Italy, against Georgia, now face a team that's considerably better, I would think, than anything that they've faced so far this year, and a very canny coach that'll have some ideas up his sleeve about how he's going to take them on, and a team that will be prepared to fight fire with fire. We saw the physicality of their game as the series went on against the Lions, so that makes it fascinating. I don't think they've won at Ellis Park in something like 60 years.
Okay, so I'm going back to 92 when South Africa came back into it, and they beat them there when we beat them as well. Did they play at Ellis Park? I know they played at altitude.
Oh, that would be right. I beg your pardon. They did. I'm not sure where the match against Australia was, though.
I just remember it was Horan against Mulder, I think it was. Was it young?
Danny Kerber.
Sorry, okay, and it was the young bull versus the new bull kind of thing, and Australia had beaten us that year as well 3 times, and so in a best of 3 series. Sorry, so it's been a hell of a long time, but as you say, they go in with just on an upper. That doesn't mean anything other than a confidence thing, but confidence counts for so much in all of these games. So, yeah, it's going to be a big challenge for Australia, but there seems to be a bit of a bullishness about them at the moment. It just makes it such a compelling match to be watching. And it starts at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then, of course, a little bit later on, you've got the All Black game against Argentina. So there might be a temptation to actually get up and watch it live. Well, and then I got a breakfast thing planned for Sunday morning for that first test. Okay, let's look at the Argentina side. We've got a couple of things to talk about their side also, and then I want to just wrap it up with who wins the Rugby Championship and why. This Argentina side, and to be honest, not a lot of us know their players. I don't know. I don't watch huge amounts of the top 14, so I don't know who they're bringing back in. But I know that they're bringing players in that we didn't see against the Lions in Dublin. The 2 tests that they played against the England B or whatever it was, without their players on the Lions too. So they are bringing cattle back in.
Yep.
How much of a difference is this going to make? You know these players better than
You need
most.
to talk to Frankie.
Frankie Dagus will be on the show tomorrow.
I think we've got to give Frankie a call.
Yeah.
Frankie Dagus. He knows everything about it. Yeah, great man.
His phone is running hot when Argentina play. The whole world wants to talk to Frankie. He'll be on the podcast tomorrow.
You haven't lived until you've been to an asado, they call it, a barbecue at Frankie's place.
Didn't you tell me once that you've actually got to put your full Everest climbing gear to get over the steak on the plate?
Oh, I said that once. They put a steak in front of me. I said, "You want me to eat this or climb it?" It's the biggest thing I've ever seen put. But no. So Frankie will obviously give.
He'll join us.
What I would say is that this will be a stronger team than the one that beat the Lions in that hit-out game ahead of the tour, and it will be a much, much stronger team than the one that had a couple of test matches against a below-strength England team and didn't go so well. Yep. So I'd scrub all that. This is different.
Right. Okay, right. So we can't reach...
Pontepommi has been able to call on his full strength to the extent that he has left a couple of players that I think we do know have seen plenty of times in the past completely out of the squad. Matias Moroni, who has been one of the go-to guys in his backline, very versatile player, very experienced player, he's been left out. Chocobares is back, and he's a guy they're very, very excited about. This guy looks like a superstar on the rise. And also, old mate Thomas Lavanini. I think he's now out on his own as the most carded player in international rugby.
Got to have a record doing something.
Big, huge, aggressive, but obviously sometimes just doesn't know where the line is. But he's been left out, which is a bit of a surprise to me. But they get Petty back in the mix, and he's just such an experienced player, such a hard worker. I mentioned the front rowers there as well. So I would disregard what we've seen so far from Argentina this year. They know now that they can beat the All Blacks. Guys like Matera, they live for these games, although I saw somewhere that it's no guarantee that even he'll start. Kramer comes back into the mix. Gonzalez is an outstanding blindside flanker. Oviedo, the number 8, so they're really strong in the loose forwards as well. But let's not make any bones about it. All along, as I say, we've been talking about those Eden Park tests, but actually it starts here.
This is it. This
right
is what
now.
I'm so
with
excited.
Argentina.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tony, who wins the Rugby Championship and why?
I think South Africa definitely have the right to be favourites going into this. They are the world champions. They are on a real roll. There's almost a swagger about what they're doing at the moment. They fully believe that they can beat anyone, anywhere. That'll be put to the test at Eden Park. I think that'll come down. That will be a key game of the whole series, but I think the All Blacks certainly have got to play well in all those other matches as well in order to make Eden Park the decider. But to me, you can't say they will win it, but to me, they are the team best equipped to win it at this stage. I think the All Blacks, certainly the potential is there for them to win it. I think the potential there for both Australia and Argentina to score wins that will have a big impact on the outcome. But that's potential we're talking about. But if you just lay all the facts out in front of you, then how can you go past South Africa, even though they have to play 2 games in New Zealand? This will be a challenge that they'll be relishing. It's a tough challenge. They'll probably feel that if they win one of them, that might be enough to take the title, but they'll be hell-bent on winning both of them.
DSPN.